having a team maybe as battle-tested as some of the ones you've had in the past, how much this week do you need to talk about not looking past Notre Dame, keeping momentum going?
Yeah, this is definitely uncharted territory. This is uncharted territory for our guys, having this kind of success and attention. So now we got to bring everybody back down to earth and remain humble and hungry, because we're going to go into Notre Dame and they're going to be fired up to play a team that just beat 2 top 5 teams. They're not just playing Villanova. We got to understand what it's going to be like going in there. Notre Dame is going to play.
Do you feel that there's been a little of that, having to bring the team down to reality? I mean, are moods and emotions and confidence like sky high right now?
I think guys are really excited. Our campus is still buzzing, and these are college kids, and they're hanging out with people on campus, you know. As a coach, I can go home and watch the film and forget about it, but they're living it every day. So it's an important part of coaching college guys. You know, you've got to keep their perspective. So I think we have a good group. I think we have a hungry group, a humble group, but they're still college kids. We got to make sure that we really have great practices and go into Notre Dame understanding the level of intensity with which they're going to come at us.
At the same time, you know, you're trying to build a resume right now for you got to like what you've seen this week and to build on. So what has stood out the most, you know, to you, say, this last week with these 2 wins?
I think we've been playing defense and rebounding pretty consistently, but offensively we just haven't gelled yet. You know, we got a lot of new guys playing together, and I think the guys are starting to feel good about where they're supposed to be, where their teammates are going to be offensively, and I think we can get better in that area too.
Notre Dame has not been a great place for Notre Dame in recent past. Like you blew a 20-point lead there last year, and I know that's not the only loss you had there. So what is it about that trip? Even though some of the teams haven't always been great being played there, but it's always been a real tough place to play.
Really, the toughest thing about playing at Notre Dame is Notre Dame. Mike Bray, their style of play. They play with a lot of confidence on offense. They just let the threes fly. And when they play in their home environment and do that, they're very, very difficult. And the crowd's great. When they hit a couple threes, that place gets rocking, and it's hard to slow them down. So you've got to play really consistently. You got to have a great mental toughness to you when you play in there, and you're going to play against a very smart basketball team.
These wins you've had at home, do you still feel like you need that signature road win? Really kind of pad that resume a little bit?
You know, all we ever worry about is playing Villanova basketball for 40 minutes, and it's always harder to do that on the road because your opponent is usually tough, the environment's tough, and as long as we're playing consistently at a high level, you know, of playing our style, we'll be fine. I think the wins will come on the road. We never look for signature wins. We just try to play the best Villanova basketball we can. I surely would love to do it at Notre Dame, and I understand that if we could do it and get a win there, it would be great for our resume. But you never know when those wins are going to come, and I think the Louisville and Syracuse games are great examples of that.
Last thing for me. Report today that Big East wants to keep its name going forward. So, given any thought to what the future lies, with the not having the name and the tradition moving forward, and having to leave the Big East name behind?
Well, I think all of us, you know, in the 7 basketball schools, you know, we all started in the Big East. That's what we know. And you know, of people my generation, that's all we know of college basketball. We all grew up here in the Northeast, watching the Big East. So it would be really sad not to have the name. I'm sure if I was the commissioner, I'd want to keep it too. It's a great name, especially for basketball. It's a great college basketball conference name. See you, buddy.
Take care.
Jim, the young team that hasn't necessarily experienced a lot of success, especially, you know, so they've only been here since last year. Now they've beaten 2 top 5 teams. You know, how do you handle the NCAA tournament talk and kind of being the hunted, as opposed to you know, a team that's trying to pull off upsets?
Yeah. It's definitely something we have to address. You know, these guys, we address every new situation, and there have been a lot of them. You know, so we got to keep it going. We got to keep it going right now. We have to celebrate. Here's the next challenge. Now you go down to Notre Dame, and they're not just playing Villanova, they're playing a team that's gotten a lot of national attention, and those guys will be fired up about it. And probably no matter whatever I say, they're not going to understand it until they get there and experience it.
So you guys are pretty good with the turnovers on Saturday. And Notre Dame's not exactly a team that forces a lot of turnovers defensively. Do you think this is the kind of defense that your guys can have some success with and start gelling offensively?
I hope so. You always hope so. You know, you go in to play against a team like Syracuse and Louisville, and you fear if they turn you over. Now you hope if Notre Dame doesn't turn you over, you can make shots. So there's always a challenge in each game. Notre Dame's got a unique kind of defense where they look like they're kind of sitting back, but they're very aggressive playing personnel. They know who the shooters are, and they rebound extremely well because of their size and the fact that they kind of pack in and keep their position around the basket.
Coach, last week obviously physically and emotionally draining, but as you alluded to, it's January still, and you guys have a lot of Big East basketball to play. What's the message? How do you relay that message to your team as you go forward?
You know, we got to try to share some experiences with them of success we've had in the past, and then challenges that come with that experience. One of them, you know, is sitting around after that game Saturday and for 2 days watching yourself on TV and the highlights, and realize that that's over. Yeah. You know, and also realizing when you play the next team, how fired up those guys are, and the level that they're going to play against you based on your past success. I don't think our guys are even considering that right now. That Notre Dame's watching the same thing, and they're going to come with a great intensity level.
Right. Notre Dame shoots about 40% from beyond the arc, and last year at the Wells Fargo Center they poured in 12 threes. How do you contain their three-point shooters while also keeping track of Cooley down low? How do you get the balance there?
Well, I think that's what makes them really tough, is the fact that they shoot the ball really well from three, and then in Cooley, you got one of the best big guys in the country, so they test you both ways, you know, and it's that struggle. Do you put so much pressure on the perimeter to take away threes that Cooley kills you inside, or do you try to take Cooley away and open up the three? We got to find a balance where you can play together as a team and try to slow down both. You're not going to take away both, but try to slow down their three-point shooting and Cooley inside and Cooley on the offensive glass.
Right. Great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, man.
Good luck. Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, man. You good, Mikey? Yep.